All right, I want to say something that might sound a little bit daunting and discouraging at first, but please just hear me out, okay? Now, all the time, I get clients who come to me who are fellow starseeds, volunteers, and or light workers. And one of the most common questions that they ask me, to my recollection, every single time is, how do I find my tribe? How do I attract like-minded people? And the answer is, for the very most part, you really don't. Not really. Those of you who are here with a foreign frequency to planet Earth and the upgraded DNA, who are here to help make that shift out of that old 3D game and into a newer, higher density, higher vibrational game on this planet, didn't come here to just entertain each other and hang out and have fun. That's not why we came here. You came here to help shift and change the game. So if you think about it, if you're the source of creation and you need to put your most elite light warriors into this game to help make a difference and light things up, where are you going to put them? You're going to cluster them all in one group and put them over here so they can separate themselves from the game and just go have fun? No. You're going to place each one of them very strategically and deliberately in the darkest fucking places. Doesn't that make sense? And no, it isn't always a fun fucking job. I know that sometimes you see the job that some of them are doing, like those of us who do get public recognition for our job, you may see that from the outside looking in and you know, watching from afar, it may look like all the praise and the validation and whatnot, you know, just makes it so fun and makes the job so fucking amazing. And while I'm not cutting any of that down, you know, I mean, those of us blessed enough to receive praise from people for our job, that is good, and we greatly appreciate that. However, that is a tiny little fraction of what goes into light work. You know that as a light worker on mission, I would say that probably a good 75, 80, sometimes even 90% of the work you do goes completely unnoticed. Nobody even realizes the overwhelming majority of work that you're doing. And you know, a huge part of your job, you do it while you're asleep anyways. Your conscious mind isn't even aware. Your ego brain isn't even aware of what your fucking astral body, or whatever you want to call it, is out there doing to the energetic grid and all these other dimensions while you're asleep. Your ego brain's not even aware of that. But you know, you're doing your job every time you walk into a crowded room filled with programmed, brainwashed, sleepy sheepies who are looking at you and judging you and calling you crazy, and you know, you're shaking up the energy of the room and it's disrupting everybody. You know you're doing your job when that happens, right? You know that every single time somebody gets triggered just by your presence, you're doing your job. You didn't come here to have a merry fucking Christmas and a walk through the park. You're going to trigger people. You have to understand, this game has been running the way that it's running right now for a long time. And the vast, staggering, overwhelming majority of the beings who are here in this game have a long lineage that goes back thousands of years. So they are so programmed into this game that as far as their little conscious mind knows, this is all that exists and this is all that there has ever been. Right? I mean, so do you really think that you bringing your upgraded DNA and your high foreign vibration in to disrupt all this shit is going to be a fun, smooth process? No. No, you're not supposed to fit in. You were never supposed to come here and blend in. And I get it. It can be, that can be a hard pill to swallow, you know, because those of us, only those of us who were actually born different know what it feels like to just wish you could blend in, you know. You hear some people say that, you know, to be different is a virtue. That's something that you should aspire to do. And while I don't disagree with that, I take nothing away from that. Most of the time, people who are aspiring to be different and talking about how virtuous it is to be different, most of the time, those are people who have blended in and fit in with everybody for so long that they're just bored with it and they're just desperately begging for something new. And again, I take nothing away from that, okay? So I'm not saying that they're wrong for that. What I'm saying is that there are some of us who have been different and weird since we first popped into this planet. We have never, ever experienced what it is like to blend in and fit in with anyone. Ever. Never, ever, never. I don't know about you, but I'm that type that it started very, very, very early for me. I was targeted at a very young age. I'm talking, it started in the 3rd grade, where every fucking body would just gang up on me. I was the laughing stock of the whole school bus for no reason. No reason. Never did anything to anybody. Never hurt nobody. Never did anything. Never did anything. It was just my energy. My frequency was so disruptive that it caused that much of a fucking shakeup everywhere I went. And it didn't matter what school I went to, what job I worked at, what city or state I moved to. That's followed me my whole life. And it took me years, up into my late 20s, early 30s, before I started realizing that that was the whole point of me coming here. You know, I'm not going to lie. It did do some damage that, to be honest with you, I am still healing from. But I'm not playing the victim and I'm not throwing a pity party about it, because I just very recently learned that that's my job, right? That was the whole point of me coming here. So for those of you, I know those of you, especially you first timers who came here to this planet from a completely different star system, you've never been here before, all right? You've experienced the same thing. Oh, I've talked to a bunch of you. Now, first timers and star seeds are not the only people who are volunteers in this game. There are plenty of light worker volunteers who have already graduated the Earth School. Man, they done been here for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes. They've graduated the school and they just came back to help out, right? I'm not talking about those people. I have a couple of very good close friends who are very, very good at the human game, and they absolutely love this Earth game, and they have a lot of fun with it. I'm not talking about those people, but you know who you are. You know exactly who you are. So just keep your chin up. Understand that it's part of the job. Everything is happening perfectly the way that it's supposed to. Nothing more, nothing less. So, all right, I know at least one person needed to hear that, so I'm going to go ahead and jump on out of here. Y'all stay blessed.